There is really nothing better than making fresh pasta at home. Fresh pasta has a delicate texture and a tenderness that allows it to cook in just a few minutes. And because it's made fresh, it absorbs the sauce beautifully, almost becoming one with it, rather than just simply being coated. It has a life of its own the way it holds that sauce and satisfies the soul. This is my Desi twist on fettuccine and meat sauce. Let's start with the pasta dough. This is my basic standard recipe and it works every time. You can do this on your kitchen counter if you like, or as I'm doing it today on a large sheet pan for ease of cleanup. I'm going to be using 2 cups of 00 flour. No matter what people say, this is really the best flour for delicate pasta. If you don't have 00 flour, regular all-purpose flour will work. Usually I will just sift the flour so it's lighter. Make a well in the center and add 3 whole eggs. I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil, salt to taste, and a quarter teaspoon of turmeric, as well as I'm going to add a little bit of chopped coriander. Both the turmeric and coriander are totally optional. Sometimes I add parsley, but it's totally up to you. Start whisking the eggs and slowly draw in the flour. This is a small batch, so it's easy enough for me to make by hand. Usually, if I'm making a bigger batch, I will start it manually and then let the KitchenAid finish off my kneading. Once your dough gets shaggy, it's time to knead it by hand. Just keep working the dry flour in. Sometimes the dough comes together perfectly, while other times it may seem a bit dry. So I like to add a little bit more olive oil or some cold water. Your dough should not be too wet and not too dry either. Once you've kneaded the dough for about 10 minutes or more, just wrap it in cling film and set it aside to rest while we prepare the sauce. Add some oil to a pot and add in 1.5 cups of chopped onions and allow the onions to sweat. Next, I'm going to add in a quarter cup of curry leaves. I know, shocking, right? This is my Desi take on a meat sauce. Next, I'm going to add in a quarter cup of butter. This is going to give the sauce a lovely silkiness. Butter calls for garlic, so I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of finely chopped garlic. Allow the garlic to sweat in the butter and get slightly golden. Next, I'm going to add in 500 grams of lean ground beef. I'm just going to spread this out and then add in 2 tablespoons of sliced green and red chillies. You can use one or the other if you like. I'm now going to add some powdered spices. I've got 1 tablespoon of cumin powder, 1 tablespoon of red chili powder, 1 tablespoon of paprika powder, and 1 tablespoon of crushed peppercorns. Add salt to taste and mix everything together. Now I'm going to add some veggies. I'm going to throw in 1 cup of chopped mushrooms, half a cup of chopped green pepper or capsicum as it's known in some parts of the world, and a half cup of carrots. And I'm going to mix everything together. Now I'm going to add 400 ml of canned tomato sauce. And I'm also going to add some water in the can, and I'm going to add another 200 ml of water. Mix this, put a lid on, and allow this to cook. Stir this in between, taste for salt, and add extra salt as needed. For a little kick, and this is totally optional, I like to add 50 ml of hot sauce. You can add more or less as you like. The sauce, once I first covered it, should simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes in total. Because this is a Desi twist on the meat sauce, I'm going to be adding in some fresh coriander. But feel free to use parsley or any other herb that you like. The pasta is now well rested. I will be using my KitchenAid attachments today. This is super convenient. You can use a manual pasta machine or you can just roll it out thin using a rolling pin. Unwrap and divide the dough in half to make it manageable and flatten it. Start with a flat pasta roller and make sure you are at the widest setting. This is number 1. Put your dough through setting number 1. Place it on a flat surface, add some more flour and fold it like an envelope. You want to get a nice rectangle shape. Now pass it through the number 1 setting again. Switch it to 2 and roll it again. You will need to add flour in between to prevent the dough from becoming sticky, as it could break and ruin your rollers. Now I'm going to switch the dial to 3 and then 4. As the pasta sheets get longer, you may want to cut them in half to make them more manageable. I'm now going to roll both halves through number 5. For best results and a slightly chewy pasta, I will go up to 5, but sometimes if I want to make a bit more noodles, I will go up to 6. To make the fettuccine noodles, I'm going to switch to the fettuccine attachment. Start feeding the pasta sheets and it'll automatically cut them. I usually keep a small tray handy to catch the fettuccine as it falls. As you work through the fettuccine, add more flour so it doesn't stick together and leave it on your counter. Do this with the second half of the dough as well. To cook the pasta, heat up some water and add some salt and olive oil. Add 2 batches, that's half of the original dough that I prepared. For this size pot, I don't want to overcrowd it with all of the pasta as it will reduce the temperature. If you have a much larger pot, you can cook everything at the same time. This is fresh pasta, so it only needs about 3 minutes to cook in the water. And I will finish cooking it for another minute or so later in the sauce. Once the batch is complete, I just take it out of the water and place it on top of the sauce. Cook the second half and then place that on top of the sauce as well. Now I'm going to toss it together with the sauce. I'm also going to add in the half cup of the pasta water. Serve this with fresh cracked pepper, more coriander and cheese if you like. Enjoy.